What's happening around the world and what's happening here at home? A very good evening to you and welcome to Weekend Primetime News. I'm Sandro Ferdinando. Before we get into your stories in detail, let's take a quick look at your headlines.
PM says Committee of Ministry Secretaries will oversee rural development. Local government representatives up in arms over not being consulted. Ajit Prasanna bids farewell to the flower bud. 3 police officers from Ingiriya interdicted over charges of unlawful arrest of 2 people. Pakistan's Imran Khan prepares to form a coalition government. South Africa stormed to victory in first ODI versus Sri Lanka.
The Aramperi Divisional Secretariat building in Manmune Pattu in the Batticaloa district was declared open by Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe today.
The government incurred a cost of 27 million rupees for the construction of the 2-story building housing the Aramperi Divisional Secretariat. Following the opening ceremony, the group led by the Prime Minister carried out a tour of the building.
Gamperalya is not a single major project. It comprises of 10 to 15,000 minor projects. We have to ensure its success. We are hoping to do away with all delays. Officials of the Finance Ministry have appointed a committee comprising of secretaries. Eventually, they will select all of the projects. Once the projects are identified, the Secretary of my ministry, the Ministry of National Policies and Economics Affairs, will inform the district secretaries and divisional secretaries to immediately implement the projects. Another team comprising of project management, Minister Sagar Ratnayaka, State Minister of Finance Eran Wickramaratne, State Minister of Home Affairs J.C. Alawatuwala, and the State Minister of National Policies and Economic Affairs Niroshan Pereira will review all these projects. If there are delays, the relevant officials will receive a phone call immediately. Several MPs will also be utilized to monitor the projects. Once this government came into power, they said that each village and each electorate needs an MP. They held an election at the ward level. We also accepted that this would be fair, but at present, the representative at the ward level has not been given an opportunity to support this village development initiative. Since the Sri Lankan Podujana Peramuna has the power in about 230 local government institutions, these people are now trying to implement these projects via the divisional secretary and the development officers. We wish to remind this government with responsibility that only those projects that are approved in the People's Councils will be implemented within the jurisdiction of our 200 Pradesh Sabhas. We will not allow the implementation of projects brought forward by state officials.
Taking a look at a story which made the headlines today, former provincial councillor Ajit Prasanna published a post on his Facebook page today stating that he has withdrawn from the Podujana Peramuna. In his statement, Prasanna railed against former Minister Basil Rajapaksa.
Bentara is my village. Basil Rajapaksa visited Bentara twice, but we were not invited. At the very least, we were not even invited when selecting the chairman and deputy chairman of Bentara. We were not even aware of it. Once when I attempted to speak about this with Basil Rajapaksa, he insultingly told us not to talk about it and had us removed from there. We suffered many such insults. We saw that there was a major problem regarding us. I think this may be because we have said in public that Gotabaya Rajapaksa is suitable for the presidency and we have been campaigning tirelessly for him. At the same time, hints were dropped that Basil Rajapaksa would also contest for this position. We witnessed a campaign opposed to the election of Gotabaya Rajapaksa as president being carried out from within the party itself. This is a deliberate and organized effort. Kumara Welgama, Dinesh Gunawardena and Wimala Veera Disanayaka have already said in public that Gotabaya is not suitable. Some said that Basil is suitable. Others said Chamal Rajapaksa is suitable. Nevertheless, when I made a statement about him, accusations were levelled at me by various persons, noting that what I was doing was wrong and unnecessary. So they wanted me to hold a media briefing and say in public that at a time when the party has not made a decision, I was wrong to put forward his name. We were asked to withdraw our statement. Now we can clearly see a divide in the party. One side wants to see Gotabaya Rajapaksa elected as president, the other side wishes to see Chamal Rajapaksa as president. Eventually we understood that another side wanted Basil Rajapaksa to be nominated. In truth, the work of the party is being carried out on the whims and fancies of Basil Rajapaksa. We know that although the leader is GL Pires, the party is being steered by Basil Rajapaksa. I withdrew from the party. I have no connection with the party anymore. I will function as an independent.
Former Minister Basil Rajapaksa attended a meeting of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna in Chillau today, accompanied by MPs Priyanka Jayaratne, Nimal Lansa and Prasanna Ranatunga.
MP Ranjit Dizoisa has accused joint opposition MP Pavitra Vanyarachi of working to achieve the ends of the UNP. Dizoisa levelled this accusation in response to a situation which arose as a result of the former president's absence during an event held at the Ambalipitiya Viharya yesterday.
A tense situation arose during a ceremony to unveil a statue of Lord Buddha at the Hindalu Hinnavanawasala Naga Viharya in Ambalipitiya yesterday, when MP Chamal Rajapaksa arrived for the unveiling instead of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. The organisers of the event had expressed their displeasure over the response they received when Chamal Rajapaksa had called Mahinda Rajapaksa over the phone.
There is no political division. The villagers were doubtful when he didn't attend any of the events. They think it is because there is some division in this. I like to clearly state that there is nothing like that.
Talks have been held with the party leaders and the leaders of the joint opposition. We hope we will receive a proper answer regarding this. Until such time, let alone MP Vasudeva or the joint opposition, I will personally bear responsibility. Pavitra Devi Vanyarachi wants to protect the UNP in the Ratnapura district. I personally make this accusation.
MP Venerable Athuraliya Ratanathera expressed highly critical views during an event held at the Viharma Devi Park in Colombo yesterday.
A number of politicians and civil society activists had been invited yesterday to participate in the 30th anniversary celebrations of the Sri Lanka Women's Development Services Cooperative Society Limited, or Women's Cooperative.
I have a position above my name which reads Senior Advisor to the President. But no advice is taken from me. Therefore, I must first note that there is no longer any connection between me and the position of Presidential Advisor. There was a thug called Austin Fernando at the Presidential Secretariat. The country has to be saved from people like that.
In an interview with Newsfirst on the day he left the Mahinda Rajapaksa government in 2014, the Venerable Thera expressed these views.
The way I see it, if talks are to be held with anyone in this government, then it can only be Basil Rajapaksa. Minister Basil Rajapaksa has a great deal of power in this country. I have worked with him in a very friendly manner. Getting close to him is like getting close to the President. So in the future, I will continue to grow the cordial relations between us.
What steps will the government take in the future regarding the Martel International Airport? This question has attracted a great deal of controversy in the political arena over the past several weeks.
There is no proposal whatsoever to sell the Martel Airport. We will not allow the airport to be sold no matter what. I think that politically various groups are talking about this. A proposal was put forward to the Cabinet on development, but no other decision has been made by Cabinet regarding the Martel Airport. If action is to be taken, then it will be taken following a decision of Parliament.
While Minister Amaravira maintains that a decision has not been taken, leaders of the government he represents seem to have different ideas.
We are holding talks with India to free ourselves from the Martel Airport and to transform the Martel Airport into one where aeroplanes will come. I believe that if we had been forced by China, we may have had to give the airport to them.
The Martel agreement is for 40 years. Agreements for infrastructure are usually long-term agreements.
It is not for sale. The Indian Airport Authority has put forward a proposal for a joint venture to develop this as a partnership.
India's State Minister of Civil Aviation Services recently said in the Lok Sabha that the Indian Aviation Authority had not taken a decision regarding investing in Martel. Given this contradiction, is there any truth to the statements that have been made by members of our country's government from time to time?
Minister Nimal Siripali de Silva has drawn up the blueprint to give the Martel Airport to India. At the same time, a message has been sent to the Indian High Commission for India to make a statement that they are not interested in buying the Martel Airport. They are giving the Martel Airport to India because they fear that India would be angered because the Hambantota port was given to China. I ask whether this is the country's policy. Is this the economic policy of the country? If the government thinks, or if the Prime Minister thinks, that since the Hambantota port was given to China, the Martel Airport should be given to India for a positive impact on this country's foreign policy, then that is a myth. This will only result in international crisis created by us. We would be getting involved in their battles. They stored paddy in the Martel Airport and made it the laughing stock of the world, and now the Hambantota port is completely dysfunctional. The UNP should bear complete responsibility for this. The ulterior motive here is clear to us. It is very clear that our nation's resources are being sold to keep their foreign loyalists happy.
The rulers who made political decisions from both the UNP and the SLFP to take commissions and steal from large-scale projects have indebted the country. This is one of the accusations against Mahinda Rajapaksa. He says that no matter what, during his term he built things. We say yes, you built things, but you stole from that and you drove the country deep into debt. While it may have been built with loans, it could have been built better if you did not steal from it. The former Rajapaksa government alone has taken 1,247.48 billion. What loans were these? Commercial loans. Rogue projects which were not carried out the right way. Mahinda has claimed his mouth shut because he received a gift of $7.6 million for taking all these loans.
The government enter into a temporary social contract with those whom they elect to power with the expectation that these representatives will properly manage the country and serve the people. This social contract now lies in tatters as one group drives nation into debt until voted out of power, and the other group proceeds to sell off national assets, claiming it is to cover the debts of the previous lot. Is the sale of national assets to India, China or any other country in the world what the people of Sri Lanka expected when voting for these politicos? Is the sale of national resources the only function of political leadership? We constantly highlight this breach of the social contract, since if we allow this to continue, eventually there will be nothing left to the people. This is our country. It is the people themselves who elevate politicians onto the chairs from which they abuse their temporary power. They would do well to remember this. Once again we say, if you can't do the job, then it is time to leave.
3 officers of the Ingria police station have been taken into custody over the unlawful arrest and assault of 2 men. A police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara said that the suspect police officers will be produced in court.
3 police officers had accosted and apprehended 2 men on a road in the Porua Danda area in Ingria last night. One of those arrested was a soldier, while the other was a disabled person. Police say the suspect officers had taken 2 men to the Ingria police station and had then assaulted them. The 2 young men had been released only after area residents had gathered at the police station and protested demanding their release. One of the victims was admitted to the Ingria hospital.
They asked for my NIC. I said I hadn't brought it, but that my house was close by. They didn't listen to any of that. Then they told me and my friend that they were taking us to the Ingria police. They asked us not to turn off anywhere or speed, or they would shoot us. They brought us to the police station and took away the keys to the motorcycle. They beat me and my friend. They asked whether I was from the army. I said yes. They asked me to bring the leave sheet, and I said it was in my purse. They hit me again. They threw us into a cell and said they would let us go if we told the truth. And that time the villagers came here. There was no entry against us. They did not record any statement from us.
The The wounded soldier was transferred to the Horna hospital for further treatment today.
Pradeep was beaten with shoes. I was beaten too. They verbally abused us too. The one in the back was drunk. He was the one who pointed the gun at us.
Police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara confirmed that the 3 suspect police officers had been under the influence of alcohol during the incident. The suspects are a sub-inspector, sergeant and constable attached to the Ingria police. Police say the suspect officers have been interdicted and that the law will be strictly enforced against them. Since the incident had occurred within the premises of the Ingria police station, the officer in charge is also being subject to an investigation.
Meanwhile, the police have launched an extensive investigation into the robbery that happened in the Pahalanaragal area in Bulak Sinhala last evening. 2 suspects, including the driver of the van and the security guard of a private company, are being detained and interrogated for 48 hours under court orders.
Approximately rupees 10 million was stolen from a van that was replenishing ATMs last evening. The van plying from Horanad to Matugama carrying money to replenish ATMs had stopped at a restaurant in Pahalanaragala area. A gang of robbers who arrived there in an SUV had sprayed chili powder at the people who were inside the restaurant. They had then used a hammer to break into the safe that placed at the back of the van and stolen 12 bags of money.
There was a thin boy. He asked for 4 cups of tea. I went to wash the cups. That is when I heard a glass shattering. When I came back in to inspect, they sprayed chili powder. When I wiped my eyes with my t-shirt, they had left.
When the robbery was being carried out, the security officer who arrived with the van had left his weapon inside the van. Based on the suspicions that arose that the said security officer and the driver of the van transporting the money was aided in the robbery, they have been arrested by the police.
The 99th and 100th model village under the Samata Savana housing scheme was declared open by Minister of Housing and Construction Sajid Premadasa in Mangathu Trincomalee this morning.
Opposition leader R. Sambandhan was also present at this event. The 2 model villages consist of 50 houses. In line with this event, families in these villages were provided with a loan facility of 500,000 rupees and 250 families were provided with raw materials for housing constructions.
There are 2 groups in the country now. Some of them keep chanting, who's the president, who's the prime minister, who's the candidate, who will establish themselves at temple trees, and so on. Then there's another group that asks how many model villages will be constructed. How many are being constructed? How many will be constructed this month? How many will be constructed this week? What's the target for 2020? In comparison to the constructions in 2011, how many will be constructed in 2021? In comparison to the constructions in 2012, how many will be constructed in 2022? Likewise, many raise questions. Here's the difference. The government for good governance goes through many hardships and listens to the concerns of the general public. We come in white clothes, but when we leave, it's covered in mud. Just like the people walking in the streets under the broad daylight, under the rain, and gusty winds, even facing tsunamis as well. This is the second group. Now everyone asks, what is the difference? This is the difference.
University students are continuing to remain at the premises of the Peradeniya University after the university was closed for 2 months. A senior official said that there is a group of 50 students who are refusing to leave the premises.
The students have been informed to vacate the university premises on several occasions after the university was closed for a period of 2 months. They continue to remain on the premises forcibly without heeding the instructions.
The university has been closed down. It has been 2 days since the administration took this decision. We have taken our struggle forward for 34 days. We will remain here at the Senate and continue our struggle forward.
Several students of the engineering faculty were not allowed to face the upcoming examinations because that they do not have an 80% attendance rate. The administration decided to close the university after the students were protesting against this move. When News First inquired about the matter, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Peradeniya, Professor Upul B. Dissanayake said, since this is pertaining to the academics, it would be beyond the traditional and legal framework for the Vice-Chancellor to intervene in it. He added that the administration attempted to resolve this issue. The professor noted that they are looking into steps that can be taken to remove the students who are remaining on the premises illegally.
Azra Azan joins us now with the weather report.
A very good evening to all our viewers. You are joining me, Azra Hassan, on Weather First. Let's now take a look at the weather forecast for the next few days. Strong winds can be experienced across the island in the coastal areas and in the central hills. Also, wind speeds will be increasing in the western and the southern parts of the country. And due to this, rough seas can be experienced. Now, if you take a look at the weather forecast for tomorrow, showers can be experienced in areas like Jaffna, Puntland, Galle and Kandy, and not in Colombo. The day after tomorrow, showers can be experienced in Puntland, Galle and Batticaloa districts, and the southwest part of the country will be cloudy. On the 2nd of this month, showers can also be experienced in Colombo, Ratnapura and Kandy districts. Let's now take a look at the weather forecast for Colombo for the next few days.
South Africa claimed a 5-wicket victory over host Sri Lanka today in the first ODI. Chasing 194 runs for victory, the Proteas reached the target in the 31st over with 5 wickets to spare. And with that, we wrap up Primetime News. Thank you very much for joining us. Do take care and good night.